The signal came in the middle of silence. It was faint, broken, and almost lost in the endless dark of space. At first, human scientists thought it was noise, just another echo from distant stars. But when they cleaned the data, the message appeared. It was not noise. It was a cry for help. Across the galaxy, an alien race was speaking, not in a proud voice, but in a voice filled with fear and pain. Their words were trembling, their tone filled with despair. They begged, they pleaded. They did not hide their weakness. They spoke of dying worlds, of children without food, of skies filled with poison. They said their home was falling apart, and if no one came, their species would vanish forever. For weeks, the message repeated. Every empire in the galaxy heard it, but no one answered. The powerful races stayed silent. Some mocked them. Some said, "Why waste ships and soldiers for a dying people?" Others said, "They are weak. Let them fade. The galaxy does not need the broken." The aliens kept sending their signal, even when they received no reply. Their hope was thin, like the last light of a candle. Each time they sent the message, they wondered if anyone was listening, if anyone cared. They prayed to stars that seemed deaf, but someone was listening. Humanity heard it. On Earth, inside deep space stations and communication towers, the signal was studied again and again. Military leaders listened in silence. Engineers stared at the broken faces on their screens. Politicians sat in cold rooms, debating. The aliens had not called to humans directly. They had sent their cry to everyone. But in the end, only Earth responded. At first, no one outside the command halls knew, but rumors spread fast. On colonies across Mars, whispers rose. "Did you hear? There are beings asking us for help." On the orbit stations near Jupiter, miners spoke in hushed voices. "Will we send aid? Will we give food?" The whispers turned into questions, and then the questions turned into fear. People asked, "What will Earth do? Will we save them, or will we show them what it means to call for humanity?" The aliens waited in silence. Days turned to weeks. Weeks turned to months. Still they sent their desperate signal again and again. And then, one day, something changed. The message that returned was not a voice. It was not soft words of comfort. It was not the promise of peace. It was a movement. Ships began to leave Earth's orbit. Not one or two, hundreds, then thousands. Massive engines lit up the void, carrying warships, medical vessels, and engineering fleets. Entire armadas rose from the cradle of humanity. The aliens received the first data from their long-range scanners. They saw fleets moving, their hearts filled with both hope and dread. Was this rescue, or was this conquest? On their dying world, alien leaders argued. Some cried, "They are coming to save us. Humanity is merciful." Others shouted, "No, look at their fleets. These are not just supply ships. These are armies." No one knew the truth, and that made the fear worse. In underground shelters, alien families held their children close, whispering stories of survival. In ruined cities, alien soldiers stood guard, looking to the skies. Their entire world waited for the answer that only humans could give. Meanwhile, across human command centers, no smiles were seen, no cheering, no celebration. Humanity was calm, cold, and united. They had heard the signal. They had made their decision, and when humans made decisions, they carried them out completely. The fleets did not slow. They moved like a tide, like a storm across space. Each engine burn shook the dark. Each ship carried thousands of soldiers, engineers, and machines. Entire mobile cities of war and aid. The first alien scouts saw the armada appear near their borders. They rushed back to their leaders with wide eyes. "They are here," they whispered. "The humans are here." Silence fell across their councils. They had begged for shelter. But now, as the human fleets grew larger on their screens, a new question entered every alien mind. Had they made the greatest mistake of their existence? Had they invited not saviors, but rulers? The desperate signal had been answered, yes. But the answer was not words. The answer was humanity in motion, cold, unstoppable and silent. The aliens prayed once more, but this time their prayers were not for help. They prayed that the humans would show mercy, because deep inside they already knew, once Earth moved, no one could stop it. The skies above their world began to glow with the light of approaching ships. The day of judgment was coming, and everyone, alien and human alike, knew that nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. Humanity answers. The sky above the alien world trembled. Long before the first ship arrived, the air was filled with a strange hum. It was the vibration of engines, the sound of machines cutting through the void of space. At first, the aliens thought it was thunder, but when they looked up, they saw shapes in the sky, dark, massive, and endless. The humans had come. The first ship broke through the clouds like a floating mountain. Its shadow covered entire districts of broken cities. The aliens stared in silence, too afraid to speak, too awed to move. And then another ship came, and another. One by one they appeared until the heavens were filled with warships and carriers, like stars remade into steel. From the ground the sight was both terrifying and beautiful. The ships were sleek, polished, and precise. They were not scattered or confused. They moved as one body, every motion exact, every formation perfect. It was a living storm made of iron. For a moment, the aliens forgot their hunger, their sickness, and their broken homes. They forgot their fear of death. They only felt one thing: small. So very small under the weight of humanity. Then the first message came. It was not a plea. It was not soft. The words came sharp, like an order. This world is now under human protection. Do not resist. Aid will come. Obey our instructions. The aliens looked at one another, unsure if they should cheer or cry. Protection. Aid. The words sounded like hope. But the tone sounded like command. The first human boots touched the ground only hours later. Soldiers marched out in flawless lines, their faces hidden under helmets, their weapons gleaming. They moved like they had done this 1,000 times before. No hesitation, no fear. Behind them came engineers, dragging massive machines, carrying crates of supplies, unfolding structures that grew into shelters, hospitals and command posts. Doctors followed with scanners and medicine, kneeling beside sick alien children, checking wounds, giving food. The aliens were confused. These humans carried kindness in one hand and power in the other. They healed, but they also guarded. They rebuilt, but they also fortified. For every hospital there was a bunker. For every food station there was a weapons depot. It was help, yes, but it was also control. One alien elder, his body weak and trembling, watched the humans work. His voice was soft as he whispered, "They came to save us." Then his eyes darkened. "But they will never leave." And he was not wrong. Within days, the ruined cities began to change. Human machines tore down broken buildings and replaced them with strong steel towers. Roads were cleared and rebuilt. Energy grids hummed with new life. Food stations filled hungry mouths. Alien children smiled for the first time in months, but above every rebuilt street, human banners flew, and above every rebuilt home, human warships hovered. The aliens realized they were being saved, but not as free people. They were being shaped. Their world was no longer theirs. In the hidden chambers of their council, alien leaders whispered. One asked, "Why so many warships? Why so many soldiers if they only came to give aid?" Another answered, voice bitter, "Because humans never just give. They take, and once they take, they do not return." Still, none dared to resist. They had begged for shelter, and shelter had come. But the cost was rising higher with each passing hour. For the humans, there was no doubt, no debate, no hesitation. Orders were given, and every soldier followed. They set up bases, carved out landing zones, and stretched power lines across alien soil. Their discipline was frightening, their silence worse. Not once did they ask permission. Not once did they explain their true plans. When alien citizens approached them with thanks, the soldiers did not smile. When alien leaders asked for talks, human commanders gave only cold, sharp replies. And yet, every night food was delivered. Every morning the sick were treated. Every child found a blanket. The aliens could not hate them fully because the help was real, the safety was real. But deep in their hearts fear grew. It was not the fear of death. It was the fear of chains. One evening, as the twin sons of their world set, a young alien girl asked her father, "Are the humans our saviors?" Her father did not answer. He only stared at the horizon, where human warships blocked the stars. Far above, inside the largest human carrier, generals studied maps. Their voices were calm, steady, and final. This world will not fall again, not because we saved it, because we now own it. The decision had already been made long before the first signal reached Earth. The aliens thought they had called for shelter, but to humanity, the signal had been something else. It had been an invitation, an open door, and humans never walked through doors empty-handed. They brought armies, they brought engineers, they brought warships, they brought empire. The aliens slept that night under roofs rebuilt by human hands. They ate food grown in human fields. They breathed cleaner air because of human machines. But when they looked up, they did not see freedom. They saw banners of Earth. The galaxy had waited to see what humanity would do, and now the answer was here. Humanity had answered, but in their own way. Mercy, yes, but never without power. Shelter, yes, but never without control. The message was clear. This was not just rescue. This was the beginning of something greater, something no one in the galaxy could stop. The silent cities. The alien cities once groaned with noise, markets shouting, families laughing, soldiers marching. But now, when the humans arrived, silence ruled. The ruins were cleared with machines so large they shook the ground. Old homes were pulled down in minutes. Broken towers, once proud symbols of alien strength, collapsed into dust. The humans did not ask permission. They did not mourn. To them, the past was waste. The future had to be built in their own design. Day after day, the aliens watched as steel rose in place of stone. Human towers climbed toward the sky, taller, sharper, stronger than anything the aliens had ever dreamed of. Roads became wide and smooth, cut for tanks and transports. Rail lines stretched like veins across the land, carrying supplies with perfect timing. From a distance, the cities looked alive again. Lights returned, food centers opened, water flowed clean. Alien children ran in streets that had been dead only weeks before. But for every moment of joy, a shadow lingered. Soldiers marched every corner. Watchtowers scanned every crowd. Drone eyes circled the skies like hawks. It was safety, yes, but it was not freedom. One elder alien whispered as he watched the city change, "They have not rebuilt for us. They have rebuilt for themselves." His words spread quietly from family to family until fear mixed with suspicion in every home, yet no one dared to resist. The humans had come with kindness wrapped in iron, food for the hungry, medicine for the sick, but weapons everywhere. The aliens could not deny the gift, and they could not deny the chain that came with it. Inside the largest city, the council of alien leaders met in secret chambers. Their voices trembled with anger and helplessness. "We asked for shelter, not conquest," one leader hissed. "Look around you," another replied. "The shelters they built are theirs, not ours. Our streets are theirs. Our skies are theirs. Even our language is fading. Our children now speak human words. What choice do we have? Without them, we would be dead already," a third said softly. Better to live under their hand than not live at all. The debate raged, but no answer came, because the truth was simple. Humanity had already decided for them. In the homes of ordinary aliens, life became a strange mix of gratitude and fear. Mothers whispered to their children, "Eat this bread, but do not anger the humans." Fathers warned, "Play in the streets, but do not stare at their soldiers." One young alien boy stood in a rebuilt square, staring at the great statue humans had raised. It was not of an alien hero. It was not of an alien god. It was of a human soldier, faceless, armored, standing tall with weapon raised. His mother pulled him away, but the boy whispered, "Why is our world filled with their faces and not ours?" The mother could not answer. She only walked faster. Meanwhile, in the human command centers, everything was recorded, mapped, and planned. Generals sat with calm eyes as screens showed each street, each building, each voice. The humans knew everything. The city was alive again, but it was not the same city. It was a machine, and humanity controlled every part of it. The aliens began to notice something darker. Their own soldiers were being disarmed. Their weapons were taken for safety. Their leaders were moved into protected zones. The humans said it was to prevent chaos, but the meaning was clear. The aliens had no power left. And yet when night came, the aliens saw their children sleep with full stomachs. They saw the sick recover. They saw lights where there had been darkness. They felt safer than before. This was the cruelest truth of all. Humanity had given them life, but not freedom. Mercy, but not choice. One evening, as two alien farmers looked over the glowing city rebuilt by human machines, one asked, "Do you think they will ever leave?" The other shook his head. No one builds this much just to walk away. Far above, human ships still hovered, guarding every city, every valley, every port. Warships formed a ring of steel around the planet. To the humans, it was order. To the aliens, it was a cage. In time, the cities stopped feeling like home. They felt like human colonies. The language on the signs was human. The banners were human. The laws, written in human codes, spread across every district. And slowly, the aliens understood. They had not asked for mercy from just anyone. They had asked from Earth. And Earth's mercy always came with power. One alien girl, walking through the rebuilt streets, whispered to her brother, "It is beautiful." Her brother answered, "Yes, but it is no longer ours." The silent cities shone like jewels under human light. But deep within their glow, the truth spread like shadow. The aliens had not been saved. They had been claimed, and the galaxy, watching from afar, began to realize the same. Humanity did not rescue worlds. Humanity remade them. The first resistance, the rebuilt cities, glowed under human lights, but inside the alien hearts, a storm was growing. Gratitude had turned into fear. Fear had turned into anger. For weeks, whispers moved through the streets. At first, they were soft. "Do you see how many weapons they build? Do you see their flags over our homes?" But then the whispers grew sharper. "This is not shelter, this is occupation." The humans heard the whispers too. Their soldiers stood taller at checkpoints. Their drones flew lower over crowds. Their warships circled slower, watching every signal, every face. Humanity was not blind. Humanity expected resistance, and soon it came. It began with a small act. One night, a group of alien rebels painted over a human banner with their own symbols. In the morning, the soldiers replaced it within minutes. But the act spread hope. If one banner could fall, maybe the humans could fall too. The next week, food convoys were attacked. Explosives set under bridges delayed human transports. Alien youth, angry and desperate, threw stones at armored patrols. Their leaders warned them, begged them to stay calm. But hunger for freedom was stronger than fear. Inside the council, alien leaders debated with shaking voices. One shouted, "We must fight! Better to die free than live as slaves." Another warned, "You do not know humans. You think you can. Resist. But once their anger rises, there will be nothing left of us." But anger was louder than caution. The rebels grew bold. They gathered weapons hidden during the war, forged new arms in secret, and whispered plans in the dark. The first great uprising began at dawn. Thousands of aliens filled the streets, carrying their old flags, shouting for freedom. They blocked human supply routes, burned fuel depots, and stormed a half-built fortress. For the first time since Earth arrived, the aliens felt powerful. Their voices roared, echoing across the silent cities, but the humans did not roar back. They moved. From the skies, warships descended. Their engines thundered, shaking windows, cracking glass. Soldiers poured into the streets, shields locked, weapons ready. Drones hovered above, targeting every alley, every rooftop. The humans did not look angry. They looked cold. The first shots rang out, not wild, not rushed, precise, controlled. One rebel fell, then another. Panic spread among the aliens as human formations advanced like iron walls. They did not shout, they did not hesitate. They crushed resistance with silence and speed. The rebels tried to fight back. They threw grenades, fired rifles, rushed with blades. But against the humans, it was like water against stone. Every strike failed. Every move met with perfect counter. The humans had trained for this. They had done it before, on other worlds, against other foes. Within hours, the uprising was broken. Fires were put out. Rebels lay captured or dead. Their banners, once held high, now burned in the streets. The alien civilians watched in horror. They had hoped for victory. Instead, they saw the true face of Earth's armies. They understood now why other empires feared humanity. The humans did not just fight wars, they ended them. That evening, the largest alien city was quiet again. Too quiet. The air smelled of smoke, but no one spoke. Families stayed inside, afraid of the knock on their doors. Soldiers marched in perfect lines, patrolling streets that were once filled with shouts. In the council chamber, silence ruled. The leaders who had pushed for rebellion now lowered their heads. One said softly, "We thought we could fight them, but we are insects under their boot." Another, older leader closed his eyes. "No," he said, "we are not insects. We are examples. Tonight they showed the galaxy what happens to anyone who resists them." And he was right. Across space, other species had watched. They saw the uprising rise and fall. They saw human fleets respond with terrifying precision, and they whispered among themselves, "If the humans claim a world, it is theirs forever." Yet despite the fear, not all hope was gone. In secret corners, rebels still breathed. Families whispered to children, "Do not forget who you are." Hidden radios sent messages across the stars, calling for allies, for anyone bold enough to stand against Earth. But deep inside, even the bravest rebels knew the truth. Humanity could not be pushed away. Humanity did not retreat. The aliens had begged for shelter. Humanity had given it. But when they tried to resist the cost, they discovered a truth older than any empire. Humanity never gave back what it had taken, and so the cities slept under banners of Earth, safe yet conquered, alive yet bound. The first resistance had come and gone, and the lesson burned in every heart. Mercy from humans was real, but so was their rule. The new order, the rebellion was gone. Smoke had faded, streets were quiet again, but the silence was not the same as before. It was heavier, like a weight pressing on every chest. The alien people walked through rebuilt cities that no longer felt like theirs. The walls were strong, the towers tall, the markets full of food. Yet every corner carried the symbol of Earth. Every road led to human checkpoints. Every sky was guarded by human warships. The old songs of their people were still sung at night, but only in whispers. The young grew up learning human words in schools, studying human machines, reciting human laws. Slowly, the culture of an entire species was slipping away, not through fire or war, but through quiet replacement. Still, life was better than before. Starving families ate well. The sick lived where once they would have died. Criminal gangs disappeared, crushed under the strict human order. Mothers no longer feared sending their children outside. For the first time in decades, there was peace. But it was a peace written in steel. One alien elder walked through the new capital with his granddaughter. He pointed at the shining towers, at the glowing lights. She smiled. "It is beautiful," she said. He nodded slowly, his eyes full of sorrow. "Yes, but beauty built by another hand is not ours. It belongs to those who watch from above." Above, human ships continued their endless orbit, never leaving, never resting. They were guardians, but also jailers. In human command halls, generals reported with calm precision. The planet is stable. Resistance minimal. Production rising. Politicians on Earth nodded with satisfaction. Their voices carried no pride, only certainty. Another world secure. Another piece of the galaxy under our order. For humanity, this was not a rescue. It was strategy. Every rebuilt city was not just kindness. It was a fortress. Every healed alien child was not just compassion. It was an investment in loyalty, or at least dependence. Other civilizations across the stars watched closely. Some trembled in fear. Some clenched their fists in anger. A few whispered, "Perhaps this is better. Perhaps the galaxy needs such order." But all of them understood one truth. Humanity had not simply answered a signal. They had rewritten the meaning of help itself. On the alien world, hope did not fully die. Small groups still dreamed of freedom. They passed their stories to children, kept their old flags hidden, and swore that one day their people would rise again. But even they knew it would not be soon. The humans had planned too well. Their grip was too tight, and so the new order became normal life. Alien markets sold human goods. Alien schools taught human science. Alien armies, once proud and fierce, now wore human uniforms and marched under human commanders. At first, it felt strange. Then it felt ordinary. Finally, it felt unchangeable. The aliens had begged for shelter. Humanity had given it, but shelter was never free. The price had been their independence, their symbols, their power. One night, as the alien sun set and the new cities glowed bright, a young alien boy asked his father, "Will the humans ever leave?" The father paused for a long time before answering, "No, and if they ever do, we will not know how to live without them." That was the deepest wound of all. The galaxy understood something now. When humans gave, they did not give lightly. When humans acted, they acted completely. And when humans entered a world, they did not walk away. This was the nature of Earth's mercy. It came wrapped in strength. It saved lives, but it bound them. It offered peace, but demanded obedience. And yet for the aliens, the choice had been clear: extinction or submission. They had chosen survival. They had chosen Earth. Far beyond, on other worlds, beings whispered as they listened to the stories. "When our time comes, if we send a signal, will humanity answer too?" No one knew the answer. But one truth spread like fire through the stars. If humanity came, they would not come with empty hands. They would bring armies, engineers, and warships. They would bring a new future, whether asked for or not. And so the desperate signal that had once been a cry for help became something else. It became a warning, because now every race in the galaxy understood. To call upon humanity was to invite a savior, a conqueror, and an empire.